Welcome to Realms of Rivalry, a concept that brings together legendary characters from diverse realms and civilizations, putting them against each other in epic battles. The sky was painted with the deep shades of a setting sun as Superman flew across the horizon, his cape fluttering in the wind. His senses were alert, as they always were, honed to detect disturbances in the world around him. A strange anomaly had appeared near the Earth's atmosphere, a rift in space, crackling with energy. Something was wrong, and Superman could feel it. He surged forward, his speed breaking the sound barrier as he closed the distance. The rift widened as he approached, and as he crossed the threshold, he was met with a scene unlike any he had seen before. Before him stood a man, not just any man, but a towering figure, his skin marked by countless battles, his eyes burning with a fury that rivaled the gods themselves. The man held two chained blades, and his entire presence exuded the weight of centuries of struggle. Superman hovered in the air, cautiously eyeing his opponent. His gaze sharpened, immediately sensing the power that emanated from the figure. This was no ordinary warrior. The man, Kratos, looked up at him, his eyes narrowing. His muscles rippled with strength, and he stood firm, unwavering. Without a word, Kratos lunged at Superman with a guttural roar, the blades spinning in his hands. Superman reacted instantly, sidestepping the attack with superhuman speed. He moved faster than Kratos could follow, his motions a blur as he zoomed around the warrior, sending blasts of heat vision towards him. The rays burned into the ground as Kratos dodged and weaved, narrowly avoiding the devastating heat. Kratos swung his blades again, more recklessly this time, trying to anticipate Superman's next move. But Superman was too fast. He effortlessly dodged each attack, his every movement like a ghost. Kratos gritted his teeth, frustration beginning to take hold. The man was fast, unnervingly so, but Kratos had fought gods before. He would not be deterred. He roared in defiance, his rage building. In that instant, the earth beneath their feet trembled. Kratos summoned his Spartan Rage, the power surging through his body. His eyes glowed with an inner fire as his muscles expanded, and he seemed to grow in size. The very ground cracked under his might as he charged once more, this time with even greater force. He swung his blades at Superman with the power of a god. The impact of the blow created a shockwave, rattling the air. Superman grunted, the force sending him crashing into the rocky terrain. Dust billowed around him. He quickly recovered, rising from the crater Kratos had created. His body was already healing, his resilience keeping him on his feet. He was fast, but this battle was no longer just about speed. Kratos was not just an ordinary opponent. His sheer strength, his ability to tap into his inner rage, made him a formidable adversary. Superman realized that this fight would require more than just quick reflexes. It would need strategy. As the epic unfolds, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment for more epic adventures. Kratos advanced, relentless, his blades cutting through the air like scythes. Superman took a breath, then shot into the sky, faster than Kratos could react. He soared high, gaining distance and momentarily escaping Kratos' reach. From above, he surveyed the battlefield, his mind racing. Kratos, undeterred, followed him. Superman knew he had to think more tactically if he was to overcome this mighty warrior. Kratos ascended after him, his rage fueling his every move. But Superman had a plan. He soared higher into the atmosphere, his flight growing faster, hoping to outrun Kratos' fury. The air thinned as he rose, and Kratos, no stranger to adversity, struggled to keep up. His breaths became heavier, his strength beginning to falter as the oxygen grew scarce. Superman, ever vigilant, took advantage of the situation. He circled Kratos from above, disorienting him, creating a blur of motion. Kratos, breathing heavily now, tried to keep his bearings. He hurled his blades of chaos in an attempt to strike Superman, but the Kryptonian was faster, easily dodging the attacks. Superman flew close, aiming his heat vision at Kratos' exposed chest. The beams burned through the air, searing Kratos' armor. but he did not falter. He gritted his teeth and absorbed the pain, his body continuing to move with relentless force. He was a warrior, and pain was a part of his existence. But Kratos could feel the toll it was taking on him. He had not faced an opponent like this before. His strength, his rage, his willpower, they were all being tested. Superman, meanwhile, was tireless. He was not just relying on his physical power, but on his mind, his ability to outthink Kratos and stay several steps ahead. Superman had faced far worse threats, but this was different. This was a battle between two warriors, and neither was willing to back down. Kratos, seeing that his rage was not enough to wear Superman down, turned to his most trusted weapons, the Leviathan Axe and his Spartan Rage. With a shout, he summoned the axe, its icy power swirling around him as he charged at Superman once more. The axe swung with incredible force, and Superman barely managed to dodge the attack, the air crackling as the weapon missed by mere inches. Kratos swung again, this time with more precision, the axe's cold energy wrapping around the Kryptonian. Superman's eyes narrowed, and he used his heat vision once more, this time aimed directly at the axe. The heat was enough to cause the weapon to shudder, its power temporarily flickering. Kratos grunted in frustration and hurled it away, knowing it could not win him the battle on its own. He then resorted to his raw strength, striking at Superman with all the fury of his rage. Every punch he landed sent shockwaves through the air, but Superman was a master of resilience. His body absorbed the blows, and he fought back, his fists landing with a precision that was just as deadly as Kratos' strikes. The battle raged on, and Kratos' movements began to slow. His strength, though immense, was not infinite, and the relentless blows he had struck earlier were taking their toll. He had been driven by rage, but even the strongest warrior could not keep going indefinitely. Superman, ever patient, was beginning to understand the rhythm of the fight. Kratos had one final burst of energy left in him, a final push of power and determination. He threw himself at Superman with everything he had, his body moving like a blur, his mind consumed by the need to defeat his opponent. But Superman was ready. He had studied Kratos' movements, understood the pattern of his attacks. As Kratos lunged with all his might, Superman used his heat vision to create a barrier of intense energy, forcing Kratos to stop just short of impact. Kratos stumbled, his body fatigued and his strength fading. Superman, using his incredible speed, landed behind him and delivered a blow to Kratos' back, sending him crashing to the ground. Kratos lay there, breathing heavily, unable to rise. His pride would not let him yield, but his body was broken, and his spirit was exhausted. Superman hovered above him, his expression one of both respect and sadness. He had not wanted this fight, but he had given everything he had to ensure that Kratos would be stopped. He reached down, extending his hand toward the fallen warrior. Kratos, though barely able to move, looked up at Superman, his pride still burning in his eyes. He reached out, grasping Superman's hand, though it was clear that he was defeated. The two warriors stood there, the silence between them heavy with mutual respect. Superman turned and flew away, leaving Kratos to recover. He knew that the battle had been a test, not just of strength, but of resilience, of endurance. Superman had emerged victorious, but the true victory had been in understanding the nature of their fight. Kratos, too, understood his journey was not over, and he would continue to fight. But today, the battle belonged to Superman.